Do you just hate having friends? Do you find the concept of playing a fun and enjoyable game for both parties to be the most frustrating thing of all time? Then do I have a deck list for you. We all know Teemo is one of the most hated champions in all of League of Legends, and rightfully so. But today I'm going to show you that also translates to Riftbound. Take a step back and enjoy as I show you this hidden focus Teemo deck list where your opponent will never know what's coming next. First, we'll start with our legend, Teemo, Swift Scout. You may pay 1 to hide a card with Hidden instead of recycling a rune. Pay 1, tap the legend, put a Teemo unit you own into your hand from your champ zone or the board. So, Teemo is a deck that looks to take massive advantage of the hidden mechanic to always make your opponent second guess when they walk into a battlefield you control. We look to take full advantage of this by playing a ton of hidden cards, and we'll get into which ones and why in just a second. But make sure that when you're playing Teemo, that you're always trying to make your opponent guess what they're walking into, because it's a it's sure sign that like it will tilt them basically. They will know they're going to lose the combat before it even begins. For our chosen champion, I am choosing to play Teemo Scout, which is 2 energy for a 1 might unit that has hidden. It says, when you play me, give me +3 might this turn. The reason we play this one in the champion zone is because it's a 2 energy unit that we can just play on turn 1, no matter what, play or draw, that can conquer a battlefield and allow us to start hiding cards. Our deck does its best work once it can start to hide, because now it has the ability to just kind of sit and wait and let our opponent do whatever. It doesn't matter. We have our one battlefield. We're scoring 1 point a turn no matter what. And eventually, yes, we will try to conquer the other one if we see an opportunity. But as long as we have the point tempo, we're going to just hold and hold and hold. And as long as you score first and then just hold every turn, you do win the game. Like your opponent, as long as you can score first, you go to 1, and then you ready to 2 and your opponent's at 1, you will win that race. So just something to think about, and that's why we play this Teemo, is just to be able to score early points and start doing our thing. So the linchpin of this deck is actually the other Teemo. This is Teemo Strategist. It's 2 energy and a blue recycle for a 2 might unit that has hidden. It says, when I defend, choose an enemy unit here and reveal the top 5 cards of your main deck. Deal 1 damage to that unit for each card with hidden revealed this way, then recycle the revealed cards. So this card synergizes really well with the card I'm going to show you next. And basically what it does is it's going to reveal 5 cards. Hopefully we deal like 3 to 4 damage on average to an enemy unit, hopefully kill a unit, and then we can just kind of continue holding because of that. It also just allows us to have like a plethora of tricks in our deck because we are encouraged to play a bunch of hidden cards. So with that, the next unit I'm going to show you just straight away is Nocturne. So Nocturne Horrifying is 4 energy and a purple recycle for a 4 might unit that has ganking. Says, as you look or reveal me from the top of your deck, you may banish me. If you do, you may recycle 1 to play me. So basically, Nocturne, if you have a Teemo defending, you get the defend trigger. You flip up, 3 hidden cards in a Nocturne. You get to deal 3 damage to a unit your opponent controls, and you get to play the Nocturne. So that's kind of the whole point of this deck, is we're trying to like casino into Nocturne. But outside of that, we have a real game plan that just like hides cards, keeps everything in the shadows, makes it really hard for our opponent to know what they're walking into, and we create a very unique perspective because of that. All right, let's talk about the plethora of hidden cards that we have. The first one is probably one of the strongest cards in all of Riftbound, Fight or Flight. 2 energy for a card at action speed, move a unit from a battlefield to its base. You can also hide it, and you can play it with reaction speed. This card's fantastic. We're playing all 3 copies of this card. Best card in the deck, probably. The next one we're playing is Tide Turner, 2 energy for a 2 might unit that has hidden. When you play me, you may choose a friendly unit, move me to its location and it to my original location. This allows you to kind of just create weird situations where your opponent's like, oh, okay, you have 6 might there. I'll walk in with 8 might. And you're like, well, I'm going to flip this up and move my Mind Splitter that's sitting in my base in and move this out. It creates interesting dynamics where your opponent really never knows like how much might they have to send. So, card's fantastic. We're playing all 3 copies. Blast Cone Fey. This card I think is in freaking insane. So 2 energy for a 2 might unit. Also recycle a blue, but that's hidden, so we're never paying the actual recycle cost. When you play me, give a unit -2 might this turn to a minimum of 1. We're playing 2 copies of this. This is just an extra hidden card in this deck, really. And on top of that, it's also just kind of like a nice combat trick. It's kind of like Stupefy on steroids. I like to think of it sometimes as like a 4 might swing because you're giving an enemy unit -2 and adding 2 might to your board. So I really like this. I don't think it's a 3 of. I think it's a 2 of. Just overall, but it's a really great card, and I love to see it. Then we have 2 copies of Switcheroo, 2 and 2 purple recycle for a hidden card, action speed. Swap the mites of 2 units at the same battlefield this turn. Friendly reminder with this card: any unit that has equipment on it, the equipment do not like recheck after switcheroo. It's like, so if my opponent has a Lucian that has 12 might and it has like 3 equipment on it, right? They move in, with their like 12 might unit. I play switcheroo. Now my Teemo has 12 might and their Lucian has 1. Right? It doesn't go like, oh, it now has 1 and then +2, +2, +2. No. It just has 1, right? Switcheroo checks in that moment and swaps the mites flat. Equipment do not like re-affect that. The next card, of course, is an equipment. It's the only equipment in our deck. It's Edge of Night. 3 energy for an equipment that gives +2 might, but it has hidden. It says when you play this from face down, attach it to a unit you control here. You can also equip it for a purple recycle. I really like this because it's just super efficient at what it does, and it's really good with like our Ember Monks and some of our other units. Is just like, you equip this to an Ember Monk, flipping it up. That's a 4 might swing that your opponent definitely did not plan for. Then we have 3 copies of Sprite Call. This is pretty common for Teemo. 3 energy, hidden card, action speed. Play a ready 3 might Sprite unit token with temporary. Kill it at the beginning phase before scoring. Just a friendly reminder that if you have it at a battlefield, you untap it or awaken it. The temporary trigger goes on the stack. So if you have a hidden card, you can reveal it at that point. So if you like conquer with the Sprite, you can then hide a Teemo there. Your opponent doesn't conquer that battlefield. You can get the hold point again. So just something to think about. Wages of Pain. This is a wonderful addition for this deck. 3 energy, hidden, action speed, deal 3 damage to a unit at battlefield, make a gold. This card's great. Kills stuff. Has hidden on it. Flips up really well for blue Teemo. 3 copies of Ember Monk. Probably like the most generic 4 energy, 4 might unit you've ever seen. This card is fantastic. It's so good at what it does. I love it. I talked about Nocturne. We have Mind Splitter. This is like our top end, right? Like, this is the card that I think if we are behind and we lose a battlefield, gives us the best chance of getting back into the game. So 7 energy, 2 purple recycle for 7 might. When you play me, choose an opponent, they reveal their hand, you choose a card from it, and they discard it. So you might ask, well, why aren't you playing Thousand Tail Watcher? Right? Why did you pick this card instead of Thousand Tail Watcher? And I'll tell you why. Because it does not matter that it's a 7 energy, 7 might. I don't want to play that many blue runes to play Thousand Tail Watcher. This card just does what 1K does, in my opinion, right? Because 1K like comes down and conquers immediately. This will conquer the next turn, right? There's a good chance that I probably am holding 1 battlefield anyway, right? With the amount of tricks that I have. So 1K just kind of like comes down, maybe it conquers the other battlefield. This one like lets me know what my opponent's gonna do for like the next couple turns, probably, right? Like, what you have in your hand when I Mind Splitter you is probably what you planned on doing, like next turn. And I would much rather Mind Splitter my opponent and take their 1K than like play a Thousand Tail Watcher, accelerate it into a battlefield, only to have you play a Thousand Tail Watcher and accelerate it back into me, right? I would much rather just take your 1K and look at you and go, all right, this game's over now. Like, I have a 7 might unit. I'm gonna crash it into the other battlefield. Like, I've got tricks behind it. And so I do think between the options, I think it's just a better overall card. We'll now talk about Consult the Past. This is just one of Teemo's freaking most fantastic cards. 4 energy, has hidden, reaction speed, draw 2. Oh my god. It's literally Pot of Greed, dude. It's actually Pot of Greed. Just play this card, please. Stop cutting it from your decks. Victor players, play this card. Like, if you're playing blue and you're not on, like, at least 2 copies of this card, be on 2 copies. I'm telling you, this card's fantastic. I'm on all 3. 3 copies of Stack Deck. Look at 3 cards, put 1 in my hand. Fantastic card. Gonna see play for the rest of the time. Guerrilla Warfare. Return up to 2 cards with hidden from your trash to your hand. You can hide ignoring cost this turn. This card is bonkers if you control both battlefields. If you end up in a situation where you have both battlefields and you just slam a Guerrilla Warfare on your opponent, there's like almost nothing they can do. The game is over. Like, you're going to hide 2 cards for free. You're going to look at your opponent and you're going to go, all right, man, like, try to crack one. And chances are they can't crack them, right? So with this deck, one of the big things that I recommend is playing mind games, right? And always be moving the cards in your hand, right? Especially when you bring a Teemo back to your hand. The very first thing you should do is shuffle your hand. Like, don't even look at it yourself. Just actually shuffle the hand like you would just shuffle the deck, right? Like, just hold it to the side and shuffle it a little bit. Just make sure that they don't know where the Teemo is. Because, like, if you just, like, put it back in your hand and then don't move your hand at all and just re-hide it, your opponent knows exactly what card you just put there. This deck, like, lives and breathes off of the is that a Teemo or is that one of my many, many, many other tricks, right? Obviously, this deck can just live and breathe off of, like, Nocturne just coming down and you hit 3 of them in the game off the top of your library and your opponent just can't do anything against that, right? Like, yeah, it can do that, but it lives and breathes off of the tricks, right? And, like, always making your opponent question what's next. So that'd be, like, my biggest recommendation is be always moving your hand around, especially when you have, like, when you put a Teemo back into your hand, right? And don't be afraid to do that, is another tip I'd give you. Remember that, like, your main power cost sink doesn't really exist because of your legend ability, right? Because you can just pay 1 to hide the cards. So don't be afraid to just, like, hide cards constantly and just, like, constantly be feeding, like, all right, hidden card, hidden card, hidden card, right? Make your opponent question it. So for battlefields, I am playing the Bandle tree on the blind. So in game 1, when I don't know if I'm going first or second, it's just because it's generically good for my deck. Like, I know that my opponent is, like, never getting the same amount of value that I'm getting, right? I'm hiding 2 cards here every turn, right? They're hiding maybe 1, maybe, you know? On the play, I'm playing Grove. It's just because, again, we're a hold-based deck, so when I'm going first, I know I want to play Grove. And then on the draw, I'm playing Ravenbloom. That's because there's a ton of spells here, and Nocturne, if you reveal it off Ravenbloom, you get to play. So it's actually, like, the perfect battlefield for this deck. So overall, I'm playing 8 Chaos Runes, 4 Mind Runes. And yeah, like, this deck is all in on the sick combos and the fun, engaging, like, gameplay. You know, it's a very complicated deck to play, but I think once you get it and, like, once you play it a few times, you're like, oh, dude, this deck slaps because it's just, like, doing really cool things, and your opponent is always having to guess what's behind the curtain, right? And so with that dynamic, you kind of create this really exciting and fun gameplay pattern. So yeah, absolutely, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this deck list. I know it was kind of more of like a one-shot kind of video this time. I think it made more sense with this deck to just kind of do one big, like, no cuts, because the deck kind of, it's so synergistic, right? Like, I needed to show you all the pieces, I think, for you to, like, to kind of see what I was getting at. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I'm always looking forward to like what you guys want. So if you guys have a legend you want to see, put it down below. Let me know. Right? I'm always excited to play a deck or like build a legend that you guys want. Thank you guys. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, I'll see you guys out on the Rift. And never underestimate the power of the Scouts Code.